Welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast, which is brought to you by Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. Simpson is known for their race-inspired and aggressive look that has been a staple in the performance Harley era. Head on over to simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com and find out all the different options they have in helmets, visors, and finishes that will fit your taste. And also don't forget to follow these guys on Instagram at Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. On today's episode, we have the Dynamite Crew all the way from Brazil. They were here at Born Free, and we had a great time. We ended up talking with Raphael, and he had the best English of the group. But I was kind of blown away by this podcast and just finding out about their culture and how many similarities that we share here in America with the guys out of Brazil. So let's jump into these sponsors, and I can't wait for you to hear this episode. Our longest running podcast supporter, Lexin Moto, and our Bluetooth headset of choice here at the Fast Life since 2019 is still here providing you with one of the best Bluetooth headsets on the market, the G16, which I personally use on my motorcycle rides to check out everything from my favorite playlists to my favorite podcast. The battery life and sound quality is amazing on these headsets. Earlier this year, Lexin dropped the Smart Tire Pump, which became an instant everyday carry for many people on motorcycle trips. Well, now they have refined and taken the pump to new levels with the Lexin Smart Tire Pump Gen 2, which now offers an internal cooling fan, is 20% smaller in design, and can double as a portable charger while you're away from civilization. Pair these great products with some of the best customer service in the industry, and head on over to lexin-moto.com and drop the Fast Life offer code to save yourself 15% off your order. And don't forget to give these guys a follow on Instagram at Lexin Moto. If you have seen any of my personal bikes in person or on the gram over the past 6 years, you will definitely notice my ongoing support for Lucky Dave's. Their seats have always fit my ass perfectly and had the style profile I prefer in the two-up seat game. I have ran the San Diego bars on my FXR and Dynas for years. Now I currently run the Peacemaker bar and riser series on my 2020 Road Glide. These bars are dope with many options to customize the appearance as well as get you dialed at the right height and hand position. I would go as far to say that the Lucky Dave's riser bar is one of the most comfortable bars on the market, no matter what risers you put them in. Check out all the options for your ride at luckydaves.com and give these guys a follow to stay up on product releases and inventory restocks on the gram at Lucky Daves.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
What's your name?
My name is Raphael.
Raphael.
Yep.
I know you told me I'm bad at names. I just don't.
No, don't worry. I know it's not an easy name to speak in English.
That's not too well. With your accent, it'd be hard for me to sound that way.
Probably. In Portuguese, you say Rafael, but it's hard to say this in English. So Raphael, most of the guys that I talk told me that was easier to talk.
Yeah.
To speak.
How close is Portuguese to Spanish?
Portuguese is very similar to Spanish. Like if someone speaks Spanish, talk to someone who only speaks Portuguese, probably both will understand each other. Some words are different, some pronouns are different, but basically it's pretty easier to come have a conversation with Spanish guys not talking in Spanish.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because Portugal is like part of Spain, right?
Yeah, Portugal we hate Portugal, but Portugal it was pretty close. It's pretty close to Spain, but the language is kind of different. It's the same basis, but with different pronouns and some phrasal verbs are different. But in Brazil, you have a different accent that makes sometimes it's harder. But Portuguese is not an easy language too. You have different kinds of phrasal verbs and things. I understand who don't need to or don't want to understand Portuguese because only, I believe, 8 countries in the world speak Portuguese.
For real? Okay, that makes sense. What, first off, I've seen you guys at Born Free in California before, like maybe 2019. Yeah. I think I saw you guys there walking around and stuff. But, your brand, the Dynamite Crew, the Instagram page, I mean, that's one of the OGs as far as how it started as reposting bikes and things like that. Yeah. It really was. I mean, there's been countless times over the last 5 years that you guys have reposted our stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. What compelled you to make a page on Instagram based on this type of culture?
So when JP was just about to open his old shop that was called A Penger's Garage, and I was just getting inside the Harley Davidson world for real. And I doesn't like much how people used to ride or talk about Harley Davidson. That was just for old guys and this kind of stuff. And on Instagram on that time, we could notice that was a new breath or something new coming from California. All the new paint schemes, all the performance bikes. But on that time, the Instagram basis doesn't connect with Google. So if you Google club bikes or this kind of bikes on Google on that time, you only be able to find like Sons of Anarchy stuff, and wasn't that what we were wanting to make? Yeah. So
so if you were to like search on Google in your country,
we didn't find like panel paintings and performance bikes. We would just find like Dynas with T-bars, fairings, and all black, and nothing like really cool.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, there was like a killer scene that wasn't able to find in Google because the platforms doesn't connect on that time.
Yeah.
And we think about to just make a page to us have as references for what we're gonna build in our shop. Not our shop, but like my friend's shop. I was on that time not working, so I spent all the day long with him on the shop. So we say, oh, we like this bike, we like that bike, we don't like that all black, we don't like that shit. So we wasn't able to record all the references we're gonna keep for us, so we decided to make a profile just to have the references there for us. And on the time we don't have even a name, but people start following us, and because besides following like 200 profiles, they can follow just one and see all the finest of the finest stuff there. And when we notice we have like on that time 8,000 followers, was 8,000 followers, and I start to dig, let's see which artist in Brazil has 8,000 followers. Man, like just TV shows guys have 8,000 followers, so we have something that let's put a name on it, because you have to have a name, like not just anything.
What year was this?
2014.
14? Damn.
Almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
And we started to dig a name. I was starting to work with brands. JP loved brands too, and he was working with bikes. On that time, I used to have a pet shop. But we started to dig a name, and we put Dynamite Crew, the guys from Dynas. Yeah. And people love that name and start to ask us about merchandise stuff, tees, and brodies, and other kind of merchandise we can make. But on that time, JP and me, I was just opening my pet shop, and JP was just open his bike shop, so we wasn't able to put money on that. So we started making stickers because it was easier to ship.
Yeah.
And over the first lot, we made the second one, the third one, so we made money to make shirts. And beside this, as the shopping was starting to run, like in 6 months, people start to ask, I'm seeing your page. On that time, actually, something that I was talking to that guy of the Blue FXR yesterday.
Corey, yeah.
On that time, at that time, we didn't want to talk in Brazil that we were Brazilians, because Brazilians love everything that comes from the United States. And we have the feeling that Americans must not like it because we're not Americans.
Okay.
So we put our faces on a shadow there and said, no, it's not some place to put our faces. Let's just talk about motorcycles. So we keep like 3 years in a row just talking about bikes and not showing our faces, because we were afraid about what people would think, because we were not Americans, and in Brazil we were Brazilian or Americans.
Yeah.
And people start to come with the reference from our pages for our own selves to say, oh, look at this page. They're showing this, they're showing that. And could you make this kind of bar? Could you make this kind of exhaust? And it's up, man. Like, Here in Brazil, we work with motorcycles and we have problems to import parts, even being guys from the market. So can you figure out how regular people could have problems to import? Let's try to make it here.
Yeah.
I have a background in the industry, in the metallurgic, so I can develop the draws and all the designs if it's needed. So we start to dig people who can make parts that we need, but like exhaust. I'm not a specialist in exhaust, but I know how I want it. A seat. I'm not specialist on phones, but I know how I want it.
Yeah.
So we dig the best guys in the market we have down in Brazil to start work with us for developing the products we need for this market. We never figure out about being a big brand or a huge brand. Actually, we don't think so. We're just running our stuff. We don't have like a major goal for a year from now. We just work day by day from the difficulty we have. On that time, the most difficult for us was importing seats and exhausts. So we start to develop a seats and exhaust. And after working on Dynamite Crew like in 2 years and a half, we make a go. Next year we're gonna go to Born Free as visitors to check how is the show, how things going there in the United States. Because one thing is just see on pictures and movies, and other things to make it real.
Yeah.
So it's the most like far plane that we ever made. Oh, let's go to Born Free next year. Okay, let's go. So we work selling stickers, selling tees, promoting people that we like. On that time, that was no that word like influencer. We didn't know this. Like people start, oh, I want to be your page. How can I work with this? So in Brazil, we need a fairing, we need something. People ship to us, we test, we made the videos, talking, and start to understand how this working, because it was something pretty fresh for, I believe, everyone in the internet at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we arrived here in the Born Free from 2016, we got mind-blowing. Said, man, this market's really huge, and we got no idea what it is like here, because the Brazilian market is not big as here for sure. It's not pretty small. Actually, Brazil is, I believe, is the second most buyer of new Harley-Davidson motorcycle in the Americas.
Okay.
So,
what part of Brazil are you in?
São Paulo.
São Paulo?
São Paulo isn't the capital, but it's the financial heart of Brazil.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we live in a city that had 20 million people.
That's pretty big.
It's a pretty big city.
That's New York City or LA, you know?
Yeah. So, in São Paulo, is just cosmopolitan city as New York. When you be in São Paulo, of course, New York is huge, big buildings like this. But São Paulo, we have great markets. We can find like thousands of Porsches, of Harleys. And in Brazil, different from here, Harley-Davidson isn't something for people. It's just something that big money guys used to have.
Yeah, yeah.
So as some market changes there, some bikes become cheaper than others, and Dyna's one of those that got very popular because was a 6-speed twin cam, affordable for the price of a really cheap car in Brazil.
Okay.
So people the guys that used to ride big trail bikes and speed bikes, sport bikes, can't ride them anymore because of robbery.
Yeah.
And they went to Harley-Davidson, but Harley-Davidson used to have that old style, like old man's style.
Yeah.
And they saw in our style a way to keep riding motorcycles in Brazil and avoid like robbery, but still in a cool way.
What's rubbering?
Thieves come with.
What? Say that again.
Robbery, I believe is not the word. Guys that are hearing us, sorry, I'm not a native, so some mistake can be acceptable. Please, sorry about that. About people who rob, steals.
Oh, robbery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trail bikes, the just one that we saw downstairs, and sport bikes in Brazil.
Still all the time?
Yeah, all the time long. And the guys just not ask for it. They shoot to kill to pick up the bike. So it's pretty dangerous in Brazil to have a sport bike or a trail bike. And the young guys that don't want to stop riding see on Harley-Davidson in the way we did it, something that they could still riding and not be robbed. So it gets popular now to the guys from our ages, like under 30.
Yeah. I wish. I'm 40.
But you're good. So I'm 35, but actually I feel always like I'm 30. But so the scene in Brazil is pretty strange because you used to have the guys that only rides trail bikes, sport bikes, and with these kinds of teeth. Most of the guys goes to Harleys because it's a safe place, like cheap insurance, low risk of get a shoot. So and the way that we start building bikes on Ape Hanger's garage with the Dynamite Crew parts, people said, no, don't need to look like just leather and chrome stuff. Can be something different. Can be something with sneakers, with Dickies, and more street style stuff. And in Brazil, we have a cool scene rising there because like 10 years ago in Brazil, a bike builder would build any kind of bike, like a chopper, a bagger, and anything else, but not with property.
Yeah.
He just built what someone else asked without knowledge about this. Today in Brazil, we have different shops building different kinds of bikes. It's not that something that I really believe that, a guy can just construct old bikes and this kind of shit can build another stuff. But we know that the guys are getting better what they are doing. Yeah. So in all this Harley Davidson scene in Brazil is really getting cool now because we have some partners of us that's called Look Friends. They have a private shop. They only work for friends. They make like old choppers and old hot rods. They're pretty cool. They start making an event in 2016 too. They call it Rodeio. That's a flat track race.
Okay. And that's big. Flat track has gotten big in Brazil?
It's getting big. Like in 2016, no one even knows barely what looks like a flat track race Harley Davidson. And now we have like a complete league.
For real?
Yeah.
Flat track up here feels like it kind of died off a little bit. But that's awesome that it's still going strong down there.
Yeah. Like last year, John Lewis, I believe the rider from Royal Enfield, was there with the guys and like give lessons, exchange knowledge. So besides all the flat track show, he makes a show that looks like Born Free in some ways. There are builders showing their bikes. There are small guys from the market making stuff on leather, on jewelry. So it's pretty cool to visit the show. What actually was like 20 days ago. And all the scene of Harley Davidson in Brazil is improving. People are coming here and trying to understand and trying to bring their own, like Brazilians, to their style.
Yeah.
We have great builders. There's actually one of my favorites, my personal friends, called Geraldo Targino. He used to work in LA in Zero Motorcycle, and now he just moved to Florida. He's a great builder, one of the most talented artists I ever seen. And he moved here because the market here is much bigger, but he represents Brazil style. And nowadays we have like some painters that make an amazing job there, some builders that are pretty incredible. The guys are starting to make like their own frames, working on motorcycles, performance stuff too is getting big there. So the Harley Davidson scene there is getting better.
Do you think that Instagram is what kind of helped grow it?
For sure.
And make it...
I believe this is not the only way that push Harley Davidson, but I see in two ways. First, Instagram really helps because people open their minds for everything that's happen around the world instantly. Like with 2 touches on the screen, people can see what's happening in Japan, can know what's happening in Europe, in the United States, and other stuff that Harley Davidson in Brazil. We have a factory of Harley Davidson there in Brazil, actually.
Do? Yeah.
And like 5 years ago, or 6, they started a plan to get closer to the Harley Davidson guys. Not just for the guys that buy Harley Davidson, but the guys who live Harley Davidson. And that was a well-done job, and people start to understand how the Harley Davidson works and get closer to the brand, not just about that dealership, but something bigger than that. And actually with the new president of Harley Davidson, many things changed, but what they built there is still growing. So
that's good,
And dealers are more interested in help, like what the community is going on, what people that goes to the dealer and buy to the dealer are doing. That's not for selling bikes.
Yeah.
The dealers are bringing more different parts for customs. Brands in Brazil are like burning for making custom parts. Nowadays we have a guy that called Brotherhood that making all the fairings. We are building like seats and other things that we make. Some guys are just working on performance shit, like doing the whole engine.
Yeah.
But we're still crawling if we compare here to United States. In United States, like if you need a whole engine, you go to SNS and you buy. In Brazil, we don't have how to.
Yeah.
In some states in Brazil, you barely can change the engine. If you blow up, you're gonna have to make the engine, not change it. You can't.
Yeah. So how would the emissions, like, do you have a like heavy emissions law, like where the how do I say it? Like California, they have stricter regulations on what comes.
In Brazil, the regulations are pretty similar to California.
Okay.
But police in Brazil is not able to verify all this shit.
Yeah.
So, in the way that actually Brazil, the laws, most of them are very strict as in California. If we talk about custom, even for car or bikes, for gun carrying and this not conservative way of lifestyle, Brazil is pretty similar to California. But the main difference in Brazil, like the policemen can't just check everything. Like we run with loud pipes, no one cares about because it's just a Harley Davidson. If that was a sport bike, they will complain for sure. But being a Harley Davidson, they just don't care.
For real?
Yeah.
Kind of get the pass. So, between like your major cities, like where you're from and maybe, I guess Rio down south is further south than you, right?
Yeah, no, it's up to north.
That's north from you?
Northeast.
Okay, so
northeast.
Do you you have the biggest country in South America?
Yeah.
Like, are the roads pretty like travelable where you can like kind of go everywhere and like do road trips and stuff? Or
we actually our favorite way to road is for south. We have great highways to the south, and people are pretty good there. So great place to go. There are good sightseeing. We have a place there that's really similar to the Trail of the Dragon that we call Serra do Rio do Rastro, and we have the Rastro da Serpente. The booths roads are pretty similar to Trail of the Dragon, and is one of the most popular riding destination for who rides in the South America, actually.
For real?
Yeah, they're quickest. For up to north, the north part of Brazil is the part that don't have that much development.
The rainforest.
Yeah, we have the rainforest up to north, and the northeast is some hot places where the east side is like desert. The seaside is pretty beautiful, but the roads aren't that good. And you have another problem. If you have a problem on Harley Davidson there, probably you have big problems because don't have all over the country have 16 dealerships. So if you broke anything that you can't be able to fix there, you will have to tow the bike back to São Paulo, back to Rio de Janeiro to get it fixed.
Yeah. That's crazy. I saw in a meme once on Instagram that from Brazil is such a big country that from like, how do I say this? It's close. Like Brazil's closer to every other country in like North America and South America than it is to the other end of Brazil.
Yeah,
so like at the very top of Brazil, it's closer to Canada than it is to.
Yeah, Brazil is a very large country. Actually, in America, it's just smaller than the United States. I believe this is the 7th larger country in the world.
Yeah.
But the main problem in Brazil is infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the south side and the southeast side, they're good, and the east side is good. But up to Rio de Janeiro, starts to get weird stuff. We barely have roads. We don't have trail roads. We don't have airports. We have it, but not what we really need.
Yeah.
Brazil is a country that is getting industrialized better in the last 25 years. We like with the Copa do Mundo of World Cup football and the Olympic Games, it should have better improvement. That doesn't happen.
I remember when the Olympics happened, they were saying it was wild. Like people were,
yeah, pretty wild because it was in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is a beautiful city. Like probably my boss will hear me. He's from there.
Yeah.
I love Rio de Janeiro, but it's a strange way. Rio de Janeiro is you know the border from Mexico here.
Yeah.
It's something like that. If
Okay.
you just cross the wrong line, you'll be like in the tough guys. In Brazil, we're not like allowed to own guns as here, and the guys are just like guys with 12 years old with M15 on their hands,
Wow.
with AKs, just in the middle of the street. So some places that even us as Brazilian, we got afraid of going because are really, really dangerous. They have a saying there, not a saying, actually a custom. If you go to the wrong place and talk to the wrong people, they put like you inside five or six tires and put it on fire. They call it toaster. And it really happens.
Yeah, wow.
But beside that, I believe that it's a third world country. Actually, people are really fine there. People really like to host people there. So any guy that, even you, if you want to trip to Brazil, will be a pleasure to host you guys there. We have many good place to visit. We have nice shops. We have nice roads, nice beaches to visit. Florianopolis is an amazing place. Curitiba, that's where the factory of the helmet company that works Urban Helmets is on Curitiba. Is a nice place. Just don't hang around without knowing exactly where you are. You'll be fine.
Do y'all ever go down into Argentina at all?
Yeah. Actually, my father was born there. But Brazilians and Argentinians doesn't like much each other. We hate each other mostly. Like, no problem.
Don't y'all look the same though?
What?
Don't y'all look the same though? It's like
Brazil and Argentina is nothing personal, but is that I don't know rivalidade. You know this word when it's your rival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is our local rival.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
But Argentina is a cool place. Actually, unfortunately, they crossed like thousands of worse governments than Brazil done.
For real.
So they are completely bankrupt, and people are getting bad times now. There, like a Harley-Davidson there would cost like 4 times more than Brazil.
Wow, that's quite.
It's almost impossible to own a Harley-Davidson there. People actually are selling their Harley-Davidsons, Brazilian Harley-Davidsons, to Argentina, and they are enthusiastic because they can't afford for the Harley-Davidsons now. They're getting bad times now, but besides Buenos Aires, that's the federal capital, people there are good, the food is good, the place is fine, and much more developed during the 20th century than Brazil, so they have more culture, they have more knowledge, but
a lot of German down there.
Yeah, after the Second War.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy, man. Like, for over 50 years, the Ness family has provided us with top quality custom motorcycle parts. And today's product line is better than ever, offering you products to enhance your motorcycle's performance and the overall look of your bike. With 12 different categories of custom air cleaners, Arlen Ness has a filter that will fit your budget or your taste. I'm currently running the Method air cleaner on my 20 Road Glide, along with their one-of-a-kind Method No Flex front fork legs and bagger fork guards, which allow me to show off my Arlen Ness gold fork tubes. It's really sick. From custom handlebars and rims to bodywork and foot controls, head on over to arlenness.com to start getting the parts you need to enhance your motorcycle experience. And as an added bonus to Ness's well-stocked product line, you can use offer code in all caps, FASTLIFE10, to save yourself 10% on your purchases. And it's always free shipping on orders over $100. And lastly, give these guys a follow on the gram at Arlen Ness Motorcycles. You know, one of my dream trips is to go from here all the way to the bottom of Argentina and do the ride.
Del Fogo.
But like, I would want to do it and come back, like go all the way down and then come back up. And I'd want to come back up through the east
Okay.
like through
From
all
Chile.
that and back around.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's possible to go all the way up and around, but the countries like north of Brazil on like in the water, like how are they? Are they kind of all crazy and shit? Or
Yeah, probably by the north of Brazil, you're gonna put your bike on a boat, on a big boat, on a ferry boat, and spend like days long going through the river inside the ferry boat
yeah.
to reach some place like it's called Manaus. But it's something that can be done. Actually, I know two guys that he go with a similar bike you have there, this KTM.
KTM?
Yeah, from São Paulo to Alaska. So if one guy goes, it's possible to go. And it's very popular to Brazilians too, as the guys that who like to ride a little more, to go to the south part of the South America. That's called Tierra del Fogo.
Okay.
That's a place that guys...
Tierra del Fuego. You say it better than I do.
Yeah, Tierra del Fuego. It's like Land of the Fire.
Yeah.
But Land of the Fire actually is a place that's completely icy. But it's a very popular route to ride there in Brazil. The guys who wants to go a little further go to there. It's a cool trip. And one of our guys that made like Brazil, São Paulo, Tierra del Fogo, Santiago del Chile, São Paulo. So it's doable.
Yeah.
You can do it, but won't be easy. And the guys that I know that came to United States with bikes, they say the most difficult part is after going to Manaus to reach Mexico, because we have tons of small countries there, and each country has like a mass law about getting in and out, about customs. So one of the guys, he came to United States for a 100th anniversary of Harley Davidson, and he delays 15 days just because customs.
Damn.
He didn't plan. He said, one or 2 days for custom, each country would be fine. And no, it wasn't. No, come here one day, take the papers, go there, spend a whole day waiting, another day waiting, day waiting, because it's something that's kind of similar. Every South American country is the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they made everything for owing some money over you. So you can do it, but just be prepared to...
I think they what's recommended here is to get what they call a fixer. Like somebody to go and handle all the paperwork and do all the...
In Brazil, we call this despachante. He solves the problems with papers.
Yeah.
They will ask money, but at least someone is working for it.
Yeah, they're on their ass, and you can just sit there and wait, and it goes faster, I think. So when you were kind of coming up, like I said, you said that there was Harleys around, but they were always kind of older guys. The culture was kind of just old man, if you will. And you guys, did you fall into liking Harleys and then looked for like the Dyna culture that California had, or?
Actually, when I start riding with my college friends, and most of them used to live in cool neighborhoods that they could at least went out of home on Sunday and ride a bike. And I didn't live in a cool neighborhood, so I wasn't able to have a sport bike because someone will shoot me like in the first or second try. So I got a friend of mine that there in Brazil, like old cars are getting very popular. A friend of mine that was about the old car said, why don't you buy a Harley Davidson? I said, because with a Harley Davidson I won't be able to follow the guys on sport bikes. Oh, but you can buy a Dyna, it's a 6-speed twin cam. I said, I don't know. So I buy the Dyna mostly about not getting robbed riding a bike. I like the custom style life. I like the old car, so it makes sense on that time. It was something that I was like just a baby, baby Harley Davidson. I was loving, not because it was so far from our reality on that time. Yeah, like on the 80s, only big money guys have Harley Davidsons in Brazil.
Yeah, same here.
And now, like a guy who can afford for a medium car can afford a new motorcycle, so it's much closer from people. So I never was born with this motorcycle stuff, but when I got 20 years old, I was needing something for me, something to make, like, work for the mind and something like this. And I said, man, Harley Davidson I can afford, and I can like try to trip with my friends and not get shot. And when I got the Harley Davidson, I started to dig about performance and stuff, and we saw about stage 1, stage 2, all the stuffs. And beside that, we start to see that was not only about the engine, because many people come to us to ask, oh, we wanna build a bike. What does it need to make it sense? I say, what makes sense is to improve the bike, how she works, how can you deal with it. The most important stuff that I said that everyone needs to understand is that a regular Harley Davidson is a piece of shit for riding.
Yeah.
Like it's not good on turning, it's not good on braking, it's not good on anything besides just making noise. I love this, but if you want to go faster, just the engine won't be able to do anything, everything. So we start to try to understand, like on that time in Brazil people was loving to make low bikes. Yeah. Oh, to improve the turning, you have to make the bike lower. I said, man, how can I make a turn with a low bike? It's impossible. Yeah. It's just for dragging. So we start to see the guys using 14-inch rear shocks and said, why they are doing this? And if we dig there in Brazil in the catalog, it wasn't able to buy one of this. So we start to working the shocks we used to have, trying to make like stuff to make it taller. So everything that we made was just like experience, because we didn't have the contacts with the guys here in the United States to understand what they are doing. When you don't have the parts even to try them. So we try to work and find out what was happening. And when we make I don't know how to say receita, like when you bake a bread, you follow some steps.
Yeah, recipe.
Yeah. First, we didn't have a recipe how to make it works, so we start working on this, and now we understand a little bit how it works. And people, I want to put the risers. Man, calm down. You really want a riser? How tall you are? The first question. No, I want a 12-inch ones. Do you need a 12-inch ones? It's not just because of the style. You have to see the ergonomic on it. You have to see the seat. You have to see the controls if the position is fine for you. You have to see your shocks. There are many stuff to see before this. We love painting jobs, but painting job, I said that's the last of the last thing that you're gonna do because it's expensive. You're gonna sometimes you have to disassemble the bike, and this could damage the paint. So I talked to the guy. No, I want to make it the paint. No, let's build the bike first.
They sound like that's exactly how they are in America too, though.
They want everything on the first try, and say, man, come down.
Well, they want the bike to look.
Yeah.
They want to look like that so that everybody sees it and they know that they're the guys that have that, right? Which is okay. I mean,
I really understand. Yeah. And the other stuff, like me and you're here, we were there in Brazil, we are in the market. So for us, it's not the same feeling that the guy is building the first bike. The guy want to see it ready to run. They want to see the pin shining with all the effects that he figured out on the painting. But we try to cool down then to understand what they really need and feel and improve the bike day by day. What they are really needing, because you can spend like $2,000, $3,000, $20,000 of dollars on a bike and still not running like you want it.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
So in Brazil, we try to make people not make the mistakes we made.
Yeah.
We learn it too much with them. We understand what works and what doesn't work, and try to teach them in the easiest way, because we pay for that. We have not problem with it, because it's what gives us knowledge about everything that we are doing now. But we try to help people avoiding the mistakes.
Yeah, that's what shops in America are supposed to do. Like, if you're a new rider, you go to a shop that has experience riding, and that helps you figure out like what parts to stay away from and what to go for based on how you want to ride your bike.
Yeah.
So if a customer for you guys wants a show bike, like they're not gonna ride it, they just want to look cool, then like you could throw all the paint and all the nice stuff on it, because this dude's not really gonna ride the bike, right?
For sure.
If they want the experience of riding and hitting the corners and doing the wheelies and just having fun, then yes, that's where these other questions, these other things have to come into play, like you're saying. So
the one thing that we are always used to talk to people is Like when they got start to ride a bike. Oh, I want to make a stage one. Here is very popular. There in Brazil, we have like 5 guys that can just put the bike on the Dino. He'll turn the. In Brazil, we have the saying that's dinamometro.
Geometry.
It's Disneymometro.
Oh, I have no idea what you said.
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Because there are numbers that no one will figure is just on their imagination.
Yeah.
And we have 4 or 5 guys that are pretty serious and work with this, with tuning bikes. And most of the other guys just put numbers there to make the guy proud of his bike, but the bike won't respond as he wants. Like for us, it's cheaper to make a complete set of things on a bagger than making stage 2.
Yeah.
So we try to talk to people, go there, make a stage 1, feel the bike, check if it has everything you want or not. Oh, but it's like $2,000. Okay, it's $2,000, but we'll improve your bike. Like it's not the real value, but just to understand. Make it, feel it, ride it, and you see if you need more or not. We have few customers that, oh, I want a cam, I want a big bore, I want anything else, and when you assemble it all, said, oh fuck, I can't ride it anymore because we ride too much time on the traffic jam in São Paulo, and the bike get wild to ride, and said, you should listen that. And the other ones, oh, I don't need to get it tuned, but in Brazil, the Harley Davidson, they sells all the OEM bikes pretty with the mixture of air and gas really poor, so all the bikes heat like hell in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Because they needed to pass through the governmental laws about pollutants. So every bike is fucking hot in Brazil, and in a bad way.
Yeah. Everything sounds like America. Like the people, the shops, the same arguments, the same kind of the same things that people want there is exactly what happens here. It's like it's human nature, I think, on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I believe it's human nature. The weird part is that we cross all this, we learn all this, and we are trying to talk in the very, like, how would say, clear way.
Yeah.
Go there, you're going to do it, you're going to work, you're going to feel better. And most of the guys go there like, oh, it's too expensive, I don't want to do this. And when they back, oh, it's totally worth. Because the improvement is for Rio, the bikes comes poor as shit for Brazil, the mixture. So, like, I really understand, as I told before, we are on the market, we deal with this all day, every single day. People are not working with Harley Davidson, they work in their own lives, they have their own families and other stuffs. They don't have the necessity to understand this, and we are there just to teach them what they need to do.
You're
not
the
wrong and
messenger.
right, but what we cross by and what should be done and what shouldn't be done.
So your friend that has the Ape Hangers Garage, it's different now, a new name?
Yeah, actually, JP, that's here with me.
Yeah, because the garage, like I've always liked the pictures and the bikes that came from there. Like it's always been cool.
Yeah,
JP, I thought Ape Hangers was in America.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
for a while I realized soon enough. But
JP ride for much more long time than me. Actually, I believe he's riding since he was like 10 years old. In Brazil, is pretty it's pretty soon for a boy riding 10 years old. Not as here. Here we have toddlers with 4 years, 6 years riding. And he always passed by shop and feeling like, oh, this guy not doing what I want, this guy not doing what I need, and start working on his own bikes. I believe that's much similar as happened here.
Yeah.
And he started to run Ape Hangers Garage in 2013, the pretty beginning of 2014 with Anderson, that's our friend too. And his initial idea wasn't to be a custom shop, was just a place for changing oil and hang with friends, take some beers. But most of people who park by to change oil say, man, I need to change the bars. Man, I need to do it. I need to do that. And he starts saying, oh, this is better than selling beers.
Yeah, for sure.
And start working on this. And beside all this we start Dynamite Crew. And parts become into a part of his Dynamite Crew parts starts to be a part of his
builds.
He builds, and I believe 4 months ago, Anderson asked to split from the shop, and JP turned the name to Dynamite Custom Shop because make more sense, because like we work almost time with Dynas and it was Ape Hanger's garage. Doesn't make any sense. People
It sounded cool.
Many people ask us, why Ape Hanger's garage if we would just make T-bars? But
It's crazy to settle handlebars is like traveling. Like when I started riding with Ape T-bars, it became that one thing that was so different from ape hangers that I enjoyed about motorcycles. And jokingly, since then, we've always joked like, we have friends that we call T-bar Jesus, and we put the T-bar on a pedestal, if you will, because it's such a fun bar to ride motorcycles with.
Yeah, the control it is a game changer for sure. For us, I used to own like a Heritage with 16 ape hangers. Man, to make a turning over speeding on that shit was like hell. It shakes for all the sides and gives a lot of like, I don't know, scares me.
What kind of, like you said, y'all go drink beers? Like, what's y'all's beer down there that y'all drink? Is there local beer from?
Yeah, in Brazil we have a company that's called Ambev. Ambev is the biggest beer company in the world today, and there we have. Actually, beer in Brazil is pretty similar to here. We don't like strong beers, strong ales. They always drinking Pilsen stuff.
Pilsners and things
because
like that.
there's very hot and people likes to drink a lot to make it cool. And if you give like a hard beer to a guy there, they do like. I quit drinking like 12 years ago, so for me it's I can't remember barely the names, but we have Brahma that's pretty popular there, or Antarctica that's the same popular as Brahma, but Heineken and Amstel comes on the last 10 years with full force, and they are taking the market for sure. But crazy. People don't drink like strong ales there, just light, pretty similar to Budweiser there.
Yeah. Well, because y'all are like right on the equator. Right, how far the equator around the Earth and stuff? So like Brazil, I actually like Manaus is on the equator. Okay, how hot does it get there? Like, do you know the difference in Fahrenheit?
Now the count to make it Fahrenheit is fucking crazy, but I'll make. But the worst part of Manaus is not just the heat; it's about the humidity. It's like 90% humidity all the day long, all the year. The year in Manaus, that's in the equator, you just have 2 seasons: the rainy season, no rainy season. Don't have winter, don't have fall, don't have anything. It's just rainy or not.
Just green all the time.
Yeah. Oh, the cell phone won't work here. No sound.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
But it's pretty hard. It's close to 100 Fahrenheit.
Okay, yeah. That's
but
fair.
It's from the moon to the noon every day long, and just raining. Every day rains, heavily rains about 4 o'clock.
Sounds like Florida.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Florida. But at least in Florida, they have like winter.
Okay, yeah.
In Manaus, they don't have. Florida actually is pretty similar to São Paulo.
For real.
In São Paulo, we don't have like the Amazonic rainforest, but we have the Atlantic rainforest. It crosses through the sea to 400 miles inside the country, and in biodiversity is much bigger than Amazon.
Oh, okay.
But as is in the seaside, most of this forest is gone. They became cities.
Oh yeah, they're turning it all into big cities, huh?
Yeah, if you want to dig something pretty cool about Brazil, like seaside and forests, you should dig like the south, the northeast of São Paulo seaside. That's called Paraty, Ubatuba, Ilhabela. They're pretty cool places to visit, to ride. Nice sightseeings.
Where is it on here? Like on this map?
Let me see.
One day, I'm for sure going.
No, it will be a pleasure to host you guys there. Actually, we were working on As I work on Dynamite Crew, the brand is mine. I work for the marketing and commercial development of urban helmets.
Yeah.
And we are working on, as you guys had here on the West Coast from San Francisco to Los Angeles, the coast there.
Yeah, PCH.
Yeah, the PCH. We have there, it's called a long road that goes to Santos, that's around here, to Rio de Janeiro, that's around here. It's the most beautiful sightseeing.
Yeah, I'm seeing it on the coastline there. It looks amazing.
It's really beautiful. And in Brazil, seaside. And we're planning to make like
How many miles? Do you know?
I believe like 300 miles. It's not. It's short actually.
That's not bad.
But you can do this in 3 days. You can stop by beaches. You can stop by waterfalls.
Yeah.
Sometimes my spell misunderstand playa on another stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Nah, yeah, it's cool. Y'all got some nice women out there too, huh?
Yeah. So if you dig humans in Brazil, you have to go to Florianopolis.
No, that would be that road looks amazing just on the coastline there, going all the way up.
It's pretty amazing. Like, don't have this kind of tons of buildings of development, no factoring. It's just local services.
But paved concrete, like the roads, or are they kind of dirt roads?
Pavement,
Okay.
asphalt.
Nice.
90% of the roads in Brazil are pavement.
Good.
Asphalt.
Yeah, it's always important. Yeah, that's just wild. Like, to be from there, like, is wild. Like, how is it for you being in America? I know you've been here before, but like what's it like for you when you come to America to do these things? Is it like...
It's blow-minding, actually. Like, I never been to Texas, and then we arrived in Houston. I said, fuck, I never seen too much trucks in my whole life.
Trucks.
Like, I like old cars and exotic cars there in Brazil. I own a Dodge Ram there, a 2006 Dodge Ram. And, it's almost the biggest, probably one of the biggest trucks in Brazil, besides real trucks that pull.
18-wheeler.
Yeah. And here, like a 2050 Dodge Ram is a regular car. It's just normal.
Everywhere.
There, we have smaller cars. The pavement isn't that good at here. We don't have this amount of highways you guys have here. Another stuff that I was talking to the guys is the volume of places to buy stuff you have here is it's like crazy. You have tons of places to buy anything you need, and all the places are fully empty. You get entry to any store, and all the stores have like 3 guys there. Say, fuck, how the store big like this don't have 3 guys working, no one visiting? It's like, for us, it's weird because we live in São Paulo. São Paulo is a place that everything's full packed.
Okay.
Everything's full packed there. Like the bus, the trains, the stores, the bars, everything's full packed there. When we arrive here, you need to park the car near to the store. Okay, no problem. There's a vacancy.
Yeah.
Everything's so big and so different from that. Like the thing that I most like about USA, actually my retired plan is coming to live to US. The most difficult part is the document because I'm Brazilian. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I believe the most different that I felt about being Brazilian and being American, that American can be whatever they want.
Oh, okay. Do you not feel like you have...
If you pay your taxes, everything is done. You're a working man, no problem. There in Brazil, like, we have many problems, like security. You don't have access to culture. You don't have access to schools. You have to pay for everything there. So I paid 37% of taxes in Brazil, at least. And
Sounds like California.
Yeah. Brazil really sounds as California.
Yeah.
But without the Silesian part.
Yeah.
We have to pay a lot of taxes there, and beside the taxes, I have to pay the schools for my girls. I have to pay for my health insurance.
Yeah.
I have to pay high taxes for having a car, for owning a bike. So, and here we noticed that you can have things that we can have there, even working as shit.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of the pandemic, my girl was talking about moving to US, and we start to make like counts. I would be able to just talk about numbers, not talking about documents, but able to move to California to live in a good place is the same thing that I have in Brazil, but having a better life there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Things are very expensive there. Like hard work is not that expensive. As I told before, to have a set of things is not expensive as having a bike there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but buying things is too much expensive. Like buying a brand new iPhone is like 2 months of payments. That's
I used to have friends. I mean, this has been years. So I used to have friends tell me they would go down to Rio de Janeiro and party, and that their money would go further. Like American money would go, they'd be able to do more down there than normal.
Yeah, because today currency is $1 for $1 for 6 reais.
Okay.
And like to us, every time you came to United States, we rent a van. This time you have to rent a minivan.
Yeah.
Because the currency isn't good for us. Like in São Paulo, just for you understand, for us to went out for a barbecue place there in São Paulo, that's actually is a fancy place for us. You will expend like $150 each person. That's something like $30 here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With $30,
that's fair. Yeah, that's about what we would pay per person here.
But it's a place that is eat all you can for the finest meat you ever seen in your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Like meat, something that we have a lot in Brazil, but what I'm talking about is going to a facing place to eat like the best meal you can for $30 each person. Like we spend here $10 each one to take a breakfast. Come on.
Yeah, I mean that probably is an average barbecue place here, like not super high end, fancy or anything like that.
I'm talking about fancy places in Brazil,
Yeah.
and eating in Brazil is much more cheaper than here when you talk about restaurants.
Yeah,
but only in dollar, not in Brazil. If you receive in dollar to go there to spend, will be fine. You spend like you'll have a lot of fun in Brazil, spending no money there if you want in dollar. For us, it's the opposite. So we have to work 5 times to come here and spend money because the currency is not working for us today.
Yeah, but what for me, like seeing you guys not once in America but twice now. Like I said, when I saw you guys in California, Born Free.
Okay.
In 2019, I was like, man, that's cool that like you guys are so invested and so interested in and so much a part of this that you wanted to catch one of the premier events that goes on for this culture, right? Yeah. To be a part of it. And you're saying that you're saving up all this money to be a part of this.
Yeah, we have to save a bunch of money to be here. Like this year, I want to be able to have vacation with my family because we spend it all to come here.
Yeah.
They understand because you're a business. Like for us, for me, JP is a dream to be able to work with bikes.
Yeah,
it's something that a regular guy in Brazil won't be able to do. Will be just a hobby for them, and for us, is our life. So our family understand that we're coming here to make things better for them, and to make something bigger for us. Because, like, we felt not coming here for the last 2 years about COVID. Like things here keep moving, and we wasn't able to visit here and see what's going on here. So we felt this commercial.
Yeah.
That's weird part because we are coming over year after year, and every year we come here, we try to understand what's going on here and try to make things happen. And 2 years not coming, and things start moves, and we don't.
Yeah.
So we said we need to go there anywhere every year, at least once a year, to visit and understand how the market works.
I feel like you need to bring people from here to Brazil to not show you, but like experience your world and like maybe help like the culture side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the culture is all based on
like
this.
the Harley culture, not y'all's culture.
Yo. The culture is based on this. It's exchanging culture that you grow up. So for us, the first time you came here, many people opened their doors for us and show everything. So we said, man, this is pretty different from Brazil. Like the first time I went to United States to visit something related to bikes and motorcycles, I went to Grand National Roadster Show in Pomona. And the first thing that I got impressed is that Jimmy Shine was selling teas on his booth and making change. In Brazil, a guy like Jimmy Shine would even talk to the guys. That's the worst part. That's something that really, really hurts me, because Brazilian people are really fine, but guys like him that have their own TV show, like they are so big in Brazil that they don't want to touch. They want to be untouchable. Yeah, and you come here to Brazil, to United States, that the mecca of all the stuff. You see Jimmy Shine selling teas. You see a guy like Foos cleaning his own car there inside the show. So there's something different. The guys are running their stuff like I think they should.
Yeah. Well, do you think that like the people in Brazil are just scared to be out there exposed?
Not just being exposed, but they feel like stars, like movies are rock
like
stars.
More pretentious. And
and this is like, man, come on.
Yeah.
And here you see that people that are working are really hard workers.
Well, I think that to your point, here in America, like in the automotive and the motorcycle culture, especially when you make it to kind of the top and you're on TV, it's not like when you become on TV in America, like it's not, the bills aren't paid. Like it doesn't mean as much as it might have if you were like in the 70s or 80s. Like,
but in Brazil too, like just being in TV shows won't pay all the bills.
Yeah.
But they create a character.
Yeah.
I'm untouchable now. I'm the guy from TV. I'm famous, so I don't need to work. I can.
What about like YouTube within Brazil? Do you guys have like a big YouTube world? Or?
Yeah, YouTube Brazil is huge. I believe it's the second place that most watch YouTube in the whole world.
So like, what about like if you guys do you have a YouTube or do that down there?
Yeah, we started YouTube, but the main problem is YouTube that you have to be a really great guy on shooting and editing.
Yeah, it's a
or you have to spend a lot of times creating new content to be posted, and YouTube is always asking for more and more until the algorithm understand that you have to provide more to YouTube. So we tried some time ago to make something for the YouTube, and we realized that we want to make, notice the Japanese guy that is with us, he's a killer filmmaker. He's our friend. He was a car guy, and he started to ring us about work and stuff, and he started to like motorcycles. So we flipped his mind about cars and motorcycles. He didn't like motorcycles and loved
Turned
cars.
him out.
Yeah. And we are really wanting to make like a small series.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 6 chapters to try to go to Netflix on something like this. Because,
that'd be badass,
yeah. Because every place that we went, as American, I know you guys are already seeing brands that come from outside, bringing cool stuff. Like in the show, there were TT Co, the Japanese guys that make kick-ass helmets.
Yeah.
You have many brands coming, so I don't know if you can figure out how it works for us to be here. But for a brand that comes from outside the United States, in Brazil, like people said, man, you're huge in the United States. Come on, you split the bubble outside Brazil to the United States. So people from marketing says that's something like weird. There's no market plan, no goals, no anything. We're just working day by day, working hard, but working day by day, try to build our shit and solve the problem that you're gonna have the next day. In Brazil, we said we're gonna sell the dinner to buy the breakfast. That's the point.
That's a good point.
We never have a good plan. We just work by ourselves and make our own stuff. And people say, man, that's actually a marketing case. You should have something recorded about this. Yeah. So this guy, the Ricardo, that's our friend that came with us, he says the same thing, man. Let's make it happen. Let's try to push this on Netflix or Prime or something like this. Even if they don't pay, but people need to know this, and just post it on YouTube. Maybe won't have the sound and what you need. You need maybe something bigger than this.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be awesome. Like being connected to this culture, this Dyna, this FXR, this Bagger, all this Harley, being connected is amazing. But just sitting here talking to you about like how it is for you is like this. I feel like I'm learning about the culture for the first time.
Yeah, because
it's
different.
It's different. Yeah.
It's different.
You know, and you see like in Japan, when Japan, like their culture, they'll cling on to American culture and like be a lowrider scene or a rockabilly and they almost do it better than we do it.
Yeah, once time ago, we have a close friend that loved chopper stuff, and he was selling that probably nowadays in Japan they got more OEM flatheads than the United States.
Makes sense, yeah.
And makes sense because they come here and buy everything.
Yeah.
And like the first time I see FXR, I was working Dynamite Crew like 2 years. I never saw in person back FXR. In Brazil, we have like, I believe, 5 or 6 FXRs in the whole country. And the first time I saw a Hold Glide was like 2018.
Wow.
So for us, everything's so fresh. Everything that we see here is something that for you guys maybe is something that you get used to because you were born living this with this. But for us, like a whole experience that we was talking like 2 days ago, we went to a Walmart and we keep looking at all this shit they have there and said, man, if I want to check the label and figure out the flavor, I have to of everything they have here. I have to spend like 2 years eating all the shit they have here just to understand the flavor because I see that the labels and I can't figure out what is then.
Yeah.
So we live in a smaller market here in the United States. You guys have a lot of options. I heard this from a guy that he was trying to bargain price of a part. It's something that barely we gave. Like we have a work. If you don't have money to, or you think it's expensive, sorry, but we have our price.
Yeah.
And he's trying to bargain. But I live in the United States. I can cross the street and buy it on another shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Tell him fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell him fuck off, but actually that's true.
Yeah,
he can
it's
buy
fine.
anything. That's fine, but the access is different. Like 3 months ago, a friend got his here caliper on his Sportster toasted, and he was needing just not a rubber washer. I don't know the name in English.
Spacer?
Not spacer. To avoid leaking oil from the caliper.
Seal?
Yes, seal.
Seal.
He have to wait 19 days for the seal. Oof. Because Harley-Davidson doesn't have it in Brazil, have it to import. So we get used to that. And like,
well, what if you guys start to like stock in the shop like these like small parts that are maintenance? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the common bikes.
Most of these parts we have, what we can nationalize, make it national in Brazil.
Yeah.
We make. But some stuff we just can't have it. They do.
Yeah.
Like the aftermarket we have in Brazil, the seals wasn't good as for Harley are. So if you put a regular seal that you have in the aftermarket, not just for Harley, don't have the quality that are needed for avoiding leaking.
Yeah.
So it's hard to work on the guy's bike and says, oh, I'll put this aftermarket part, in 3 days we'll be leaking.
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks. Actually, we are trying to like, man, it's easier to you maybe buy a new caliper than wait the 19 days. Personally, I would do that.
Makes sense, yeah.
Much more easier. But prices are high there, so people avoid to spend money.
Yeah.
The guys like, we have most of our customers are really young guys that like, they're working hard for still riding the bikes. They avoid.
Well, how so? Like, out of all your friends that are here, like you speak fair English, like pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I mean? So how, like, where did you learn English? Like, what was the point of you learning English? And like, apparently that's not super common.
Yeah.
Right?
In Brazil, if you take guys under 30, it's pretty common. They understand, they comprehend or talk in English.
Okay.
Maybe not fluently, but they talk because...
Well, when you watch our movies, they're way better when you see them in English.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
the subtitles.
That's
or
the point.
voiceover.
My father was a really tough guy, and he really pushed me all the time, as he can provide me a good school and a good English school and everything.
Yeah.
He kept me pushing all the time. So I really studied English there because I love metal stuff, and everything from metal comes in English.
Yeah. And
the movies and the soap operas, everything is in English. So I love American culture in general. So when it makes sense. Like I wasn't good at school, but I used to like to study English because I know that further it could be useful. I never figured out that it would work with Harley Davidson, but I figured out that could be useful.
Oh, it is useful. I mean, you're sitting here and we're talking. And
yeah.
I'm fascinated, man. Like this is actually. I mean, it's kind of it makes me think about the culture that I'm a part of. It makes me love it more because you love it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's the passionate stuff about Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
And for me, Harley Davidson and old cars are in the same basket.
Yeah,
there are people that are more old cars, people are more Harley Davidson, but I believe the passion that moves both are the same.
Yeah,
because Harley Davidson gives as trouble as old cars gives.
Fair. Yeah.
If got teeth or wheels, it will give problems. I believe this 100%. And people start to making friends and be able to understand each other's because enough like an inanimate object.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking car, it's a fucking motorcycle. No, it's much more than this.
Yeah.
Many friends of me that when I started on this make fun, oh, it's a Harley Davidson. He's gonna wear orange and black underwear in 2 years. I said, no, man, it's not about it. You're not understanding. I'm not that old guy. And now they ride with us because it's something that makes people love it.
So what do you think, maybe I'm going to ask you this question. Maybe you have the answer, maybe you don't. But for the older guys, like the old guys in Brazil, what do you think they rode Harley Davidson? What do you think made them want to ride Harley Davidson? Do you think it's movies like Terminator or shit like that?
Yeah. 20 days ago, we have the Rodeo, and most of the old guys that pass by our booth, they look to our motorcycle, say, "What the fuck are you doing? You destroyed your bike. They're all trashes now." and for us, it makes sense. And actually, in the inside, we love to hear this because we don't want to make these bikes for these old guys.
Yeah.
Like I don't like hating.
Yeah,
but for me, I'm the right way. If old people that I don't want to look like don't like my bikes, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But most
That's
of these guys, and in Brazil, I believe we have 4 generations of riders there in Brazil now.
Okay.
The guys from the 60s, they ride because they love it. They don't have Harley Davidsons there. They make shoppers over Hondas, over Yamahas, and they ride like a hell with no tools, no parts, no replacements, no aftermarket, no any shit.
Yeah.
In the 80s, we start to have more Harley Davidson stuff, but just for the big money guys, and was a kind of status to own a Harley Davidson, like in the late 90s too. After the late 90s, people start to understand what Harley Davidson, at least for me, looks like. It's not just that making fun of freedom, just like Easy Rider movie. Mm-hmm. Like Easy Rider movie was pretty good and really great on the 70s, but today it looked like fun.
Yeah.
And people still look this like freedom. I believe the freedom for me is like I told you when we were starting here, is be whatever you want. It's not be able to ride wherever you want. Like Harley Davidson is much related to you be wherever you want. Mm-hmm. You can have tattoos, you cannot have. You wear Dickies, you can wear Wrangler, you can wear whatever you want. At least you love this machine and love the lifestyle and everything else. Mm-hmm. So actually, when I was younger, I believe when we are young, we are more hating people. I used to say, "Oh, he need to do, he need to do that." Today I'm not like this. I had see people happy and understanding what we were doing. We're trying. Like I always talk about this in Brazil. Like for me, selling parts in Brazil is just good about our culture because for money is not good. Mm-hmm. For us, actually selling a part here is 3 times more worthwhile than in Brazil. So selling in Brazil, I have to use my stock for selling for not get much profit. But we're still doing it because we want to see there as big as you guys have here. Mm-hmm. So the passion, you ask about old guys. There are old guys that really hide hard there. Most of them now rides GS, BMWs.
Yeah.
Because Harley Davidson not leave the country like I'm going down, but I'm going out. But they don't really care about customers. Like 10 years ago, they wasn't really care. They were losing the market for another kind of bikes. They don't care. So people discovered that another bikes could be better to ride in Harley Davidson. And now we have a whole new generation of under 30 guys building new stuff there that make the guys, they can understand, like when they were young, they don't have like this kind of culture there. They just have Harley Davidson and the dealer, Harley Davidson and the dealer, and now we have like shows that doesn't include any kind of dealer, any kind of Harley Davidson stuff. It's just motorcycle shows.
Yeah, it's like put on by you guys. It's like it's the people that are putting on these events, and yeah, man, that's
there's actually
that's the shit I want to go to.
Actually, what I see from my own, they are splitting the scene, if I can talk like this.
Yeah.
There are guys that just buy Harley Davidson because they want a Harley Davidson. There are guys that buy Harley Davidson to have all this plus that we live, this musical, this culture, the customizing stuff, the custom shops, the everything, the lifestyle for a whole package.
God, dude, that's...
I don't know. Lifestyle is a bad word to say here.
No, it is.
If the people live the lifestyle.
I mean, you were at Born Free Texas, like, and you've been to Born Free California. Like, that's different. They're different.
They're different. They're pretty different.
You know?
Actually, Brazilian scene of motorcycle looks much more what we have seen on Texas Born Free.
For real?
Like, there is the guy from the chopper, there is the guy from the Dyna stuff, there is the guy from the hog stuff. Like, California is just crazy people, man. Like, by midday, people was getting drunk as fuck and getting high as fuck and saying, man, like, someone will die here. Yeah. It's pretty different, but we know that California is a state that's pretty different from the rest of the United States.
California, like I said, you know, or like you've said, it's still I think it's a great way. It's a great place to be for like things to be created.
Yeah,
you know
a very
what I mean?
creative place.
Yeah, it's a very creative place. So like whether it's the mountains or the ocean or the vast amount of history of art from movies and music that's come out of that place, it's just like it breeds culture out of it. You know what I mean? And that culture definitely like vibes with Texas and it across the country. Everything that I'm doing is kind of from the culture of California, right? But it's kind of also with my flavor of Texas in it, right?
For sure.
Like I'm a Texan. My wife's from California. My bike style's from California, but you know, we have a different way of doing things here, but still in homage and lineage of what was done there or has been done there. So.
Yeah.
But we don't like saying we don't talk about that much because people in California, when they hear that their chest gets big and they think that like they did it.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Somebody else did it.
But it's difficult to say that someone owns a thing.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Not if you don't have a paper for it, it's don't own the thing, because like California is such a cosmopolitan place.
Yeah,
you have cultures from many places. You have different kinds of cultures there. We have as you said, music, artistic stuff. All the environmental helps.
So, but with that same note, like even I realized this early on in my career when I paint, and I would go to California, and I would be talking to a painter that's from Iowa. And talking to a painter from New Mexico and talking to a painter or builder from Missouri. And so what would happen, like your friend that moved for Zero, people would leave their parts of the country to go to California to capitalize on the opportunity.
And now they are backing. People are leaving California. Like
I'm glad you see it too.
Last week I was talking to Paul from Lindell Brakes, and he says, "No, man, I'm not living there anymore. You know, Kellen Torrin is not living there anymore. Targino is split. Many guys are going out of California. For many reasons, like Texas, the left party there, and all the stuff, the robber stuff, the thief stuffs. So." Like, I like California. I like Texas. I like Florida because it's closer. It's the most closer United States floor for us. The only place that I didn't really like United States was New York when I went there.
For real?
Yeah.
What did you not like about it? Like, is it just the people or?
Many things. I believe the most important thing was the only place that I got shamed of not being a local. Like many places that I went, people don't care if I'm local or not. They talk to me, they receive me, not because me, but they receive people in general. And I believe polite and kindness is something that the human being needs. Everyone, empathy. They like if you see someone is outside, is not from here, like treat him well. Ask if he's need anything. And in New York, I really felt like, man, this guys here doesn't want me here. They don't like me here. Like I'm spending big money here because I'm in my running moon, and I'm hating it. Beside the museum stuff and all the historical stuff, I hate New York.
Yeah.
I really hate.
Well, I think the people up there, maybe a good analogy or a way to look at it is, if you live in New York City, then you're constantly inundated. You're constantly around foreigners, right? San Francisco, the same way. San Francisco has a lot of foreigners coming through San Francisco, so I feel like locals get.
But when I talk locals, it's a strange way. Like every morning, I went down the hotel. There was a place besides the hotel that make breakfast. I went there, and the guys there see me there like for 20 days, and they couldn't even have a smile. I ask things, and they mock of me because I'm not talking like a good English. And I said, man, my English is better than your Mexican English. Stop talking bullshit. Yeah. And he get, I said, man, I don't live here, but I can understand what you're talking. You're making mock of me.
Yeah.
But I'm here to pay your bills. Understand this. I'm not needing anything else than this. Just be nice to me. Just this. And people got strange. Like, I felt really weird city. Like I live in São Paulo. São Paulo is a cold city. People are not used to cold city if you compare to the rest of Brazil.
Well, what do you mean by cold city?
Like they don't give easy smiles.
Oh,
they
okay.
don't
So it's kind of like New York. Yeah.
It's kind of New York, but New York much more harder.
Yeah.
And this stuff, like people
So, have you heard of the concept of Southern hospitality?
Yeah.
So that's basically what we're more known for down here in Texas and Florida, and
I talked to all the guys that I got really impressed about people here in Texas. They're really, really, really polite, fine, kindness. Everyone, like I with my cane here because I broke my knee, and everybody sees this and said, "Oh, come on, let me help you. Be welcome," and this kind of shit. And for me, it's cool because outside United States, I don't know if you guys know this. Many people say, "No, Americans are rude. Americans are this. Americans." Yeah. No, man. All the experience I have in the United States, like I rode California like 4 times in a row. I spent 10 days now in Texas. I always been to Florida, and people were really nice to me. Besides New York, everybody treated me pretty fine. Everybody helped me.
New York, get your shit together, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
But like for me, I've been in New York 3 times now, and recently within the my first time was in 2020, and I'm 40 years old, so like I haven't got to do it, but the culture there, like when you've been there, so you're standing in Manhattan, and these buildings are just like as far as you can see in the air, and so much of the history of America is on the ground you're standing on, and then. It's kind of like the people there. When the biker people there, they're the best. They have the hospitality.
I didn't find bikes in there. I just find that
they're on Long Island. They're on Long Island. They're not. They're over there in Brooklyn and
I
Queens
went to Brooklyn.
And all
I went to Indian Larry.
Yeah,
and other stuff.
Did you go to Indian Larry's? Saw that shot? Yeah, that's badass.
Indian Larry is a reference not for us as bike builders, but I have reference as Harley Davidson World. So it's one of the most popular custom builders in the 100%. World. So we have to be there. I take my wife.
Oh, I 100% agree.
We have to spend one day there. I wish I could be there on the block party, but I believe for 10 days I missed the block party. Yeah. I was there. The other stuff that I have to consider that's too, but I was there in 9/11 weeks.
Yeah.
One before and one after. So probably the mood there was weird about this, but I don't think that much important in this.
Do you think for your accent and stuff like that, do you think people take you maybe look at you differently? Like maybe
for sure.
Like they don't know the difference between Brazil and
I don't think so. They understand I was Brazilian, but that I was not from there.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. I have been saying it for years now. One of the first upgrades that pay off for the longevity of your motorcycle ownership is a ThunderMax EFI module. For those that don't know what that does for your riding experience, basically the T-Max module provides your Harley-Davidson with proprietary auto-tune technology. It has a barometric sensor and a wideband O2 sensors, which constantly read the ambient air and air-fuel ratio to optimize the performance output from your fuel-injected engine. You can order these modules with pre-downloaded base map for your current stage of performance, or have the bike brought to a dyno tuner for a custom map. I can tell you from experience, I've watched my bike on the dyno learn from every dyno pull in real time. It works, and I have been running these modules on my bikes since 2015. The team at Thunder Max are some of the best in the business, and you can catch them supporting the big events like Sturgis, all the way down to things like our camp out. Thunder Max is in the streets with you. Head on over to thunder-max.com and get yourself dialed in with a T-Max tuner and drop the Fast Life offer code at checkout and save yourself 10% on your purchase. And follow my guys on the gram at ThunderMaxEFI. I think just about everybody in America can remember where they were when 9/11 happened, but I was young enough not to be hateful of everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. For me, it's very clear that the remembers that I have from 9/11, I was at school because I'm 35.
Yeah.
One of my best friends was about to go in my home because we have homework together to make. And when I arrived home, the whole building was going down, and after the other crash, and I really can't figure out what really happens till I went to the ground zero there.
Yeah,
like you wild. See the buildings on the film and the footage, and you can realize how big that was, and how hard that hits United States. Like I'm Brazilian, but I love this country because many things that I love comes from here. So for me, it's impossible to dislike here, and I won't be hypocrite if I say, I fell in my heart because I'm not American. I don't know how can American felt about this, but I can figure out how hard it hits because the ground zero is something that got just to look that oppressed me, just to understand how big is the shit was and how that hit the United States. And I really understand, like for us being outsiders come here, now we have to cross 200 X-rays machines and show all the stuff. But I really understand because it's your homeland. You have to take care of it.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that you cared. But yeah, that's like new. That's like an insight for me because, like selfishly, I'm only thinking about where I was and what my experience was. But to know that other countries like also saw what happened and like, because I mean, if something like that happened to any country, like I would feel the same. I
believe that's the last big happening on the 20th century.
Yeah, well,
I can remember something that happened after this, before the century 21.
Like a deliberate attack like that. I mean, I don't want to.
Not just the attack.
Yeah.
What everything that's going this environmental, the political stuff, the religious stuff, the petroleum stuff too, because it matters too. But man, that was huge. That was unfair. That was unpredictable.
Yeah.
But sometimes things move on. So.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird situation. Like I think that like in 2001, like you saw what happened for us, but I think in America, like for us to look outside of America to find out what's going on in the world, we didn't have a lot of channels to find that out. No. You know what I mean?
That time internet was crawling and everything else, like you can just watch NBC, CNN and all Fox and stuff. You won't be able to like confront information or have like pure information as we are able to have now.
Yeah. And we would have to read about what's going on in your country through like Time Magazine or National Geographic, a magazine, so people don't read.
Last night we were talking to the Corey and the other guy who owns the yellow 2002 FXR.
Awesome dude. his name's drawing a blank right now, but he's a great guy. Yeah,
he used to live in Brazil.
He did. He said that.
So he was explaining to Corey, you need to understand what just NBC, National Geographic, Fox News, NBC explain about Brazil here is what one channel that have much interest in Brazil tells to them. Yeah. So the real facts we will never be able to understand about anything. Yeah. That's the most thing that I think that's the human knowledge. The human knowledge is something that I think I know something, but for real, I just know what happens to me, what happens to you, what happens to JP, that's my partner, what happens to my wife. I will never be able to feel what they feel, understand what they understand. So everything has at least two sides.
Yeah.
So
two stories, yeah.
To you understand what comes from Brazil is pretty hard, but for us to see what's happening in the United States is like every notice related to the United States. Oh, United States, George Bush fart. Oh, it comes a note on the newspaper in Brazil. Everybody knows what's happening in the United States. And for us, especially as like a fan of all the American culture, about music, moves, and everything else, because United States is the east side of the world, most bigger reference.
Have you ever, like, this might be a heavy question, but, you know, when you talk about America and culture of America, like, our culture has always been, like, entertainment, right? It's been movies, music, you know, forms of art, if you will. But when we in America talk about culture now, we talk about, like, you. We talk about, like, man, I want to be with someone that knows culture, and then we're talking about someone that maybe is into Brazilian style food or Argentinian food.
Yeah, because man, that's a hippie stuff.
I'm glad you said it.
I have few friends that say that, oh, Americans has no culture. I said, man, what does you eat 5 times a week? Pizza, American pizza, and McDonald's.
Yeah.
What you heard? You heard rip-rop, metal, and other American music.
Yeah.
What does you fit? American clothes, Nike. Everything comes from America.
Yeah.
Not everything at all. You know, I'm just being generalist.
Yeah.
But iPhones comes from America. U-Pong comes from America. Everything comes from America. So people are used to say that America doesn't have that like refined culture.
Yeah.
Because they don't notice how the American culture influence all the world that lives from the east side.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
For people like, I always have this complaint, mostly with the left guys. They say, no, man, they don't have culture. Are you really sure about this?
Yeah.
They know what happened. They know all the presents they got.
Yeah.
All the presents that what they've made. They understand about politicians that you doesn't understand. No, I understand. The average American maybe do not like to visit museums, but culture is not just inside museums. Culture is everything we've made. Like, you can hate Jennifer Lopez, still being part of the American culture. And
nobody hates her.
Nobody hates her.
Nobody hates her.
But she's like all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's hard when, say, people try to, like, oh, the European culture is better. No, it's different.
Yeah, it's its own thing. Yeah.
It's different, and you feel different because you have to run to understand it. It's not inflicted in yourselves when you was born, because American made the East world. After World War II, American, like, everything that makes sense, not sense, but all the American culture is, I don't know, infiltrated in the basis of America, in the whole American.
Yeah.
So for us, it's pretty hard to understand as culture, but it is culture. Like in Brazil, in Brazil we have some kind of music that's called funk, but it's not the cool funk from the 80s. It's something just about dirty, sex, and thieves.
Okay.
But it's not cool. No, it isn't cool. Okay. It's not the G stuff like Tupac. No. Yeah. It's something from the guy that will put a bullet in your head for a cell phone. It's not cool.
Yeah.
But
sounds like trap music for us here.
Yeah, pretty close to trap music. But we have to understand, besides I'm not liking this, it represents part of the Brazilian culture. It's not because I dislike that isn't culture.
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense. No, that's a good perspective. Do you guys ever listen to like rock music, things like that? Does that kind of resonate with the culture down there?
Yeah, for me, like culture for me is the biggest way of expression of art of human beings. Because with music you can express about any feelings that any human being can have. But we have different kinds of people. Like me and Ricardo, the Japanese boy, we love metal, but I love more extreme metal and hardcore, and he prefer 19s and 20s metal, like new metal and the new generation. JP's really like samba e pagode and some of general rock, but not metal. And Edu hears a lot of punk rock songs, and Gio likes everything, to jazz to J-Lo. He loves everything. So but for me, metal is something that's pretty connected to all this culture as countryside music. And
you ever like listen to some good old like Leonard Skinner?
Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama.
There you go. Hey, maybe not that song, but they have other songs that like well, even I guess for us in America, I think sometimes we fantasize about an easier time, and maybe an easier time for fair-skinned people like myself. But you know, in the '60s and '70s, when you know we didn't have credit scores and these like all these different laws and rules and things that are going on to make us that we have to do, and we look at these choppers that were built in the '60s and '70s. Easy Rider, as they can just jump and ride their bike across the country and leave their home. Like they have no home. They're vagabonds. They're nomads in that, right? We kind of fantasize about that because it's not available to us anymore. Like in America, like we have to find a way to pay the government, and it sounds like I'm complaining, and I don't want to, because like you already told me how hard it is for you guys to enjoy what we enjoy. So I'm sorry for that.
No.
Yeah.
Don't need to be sorry, and I could understand that maybe when you see an old movie, you can be romantic about something that we will never be able to do it again.
You know what a good point is? In America, so in the 50s and 60s and 70s, Westerns were a huge hit. That was everything. And most men enjoyed Westerns because it kind of represented what motorcycle culture represents to, I think, our generation. Okay. Right? Because, you know, if you think about it, if you're 1950 and you're 25 years old, right? You're a young adult. That's, you know, cowboy shit, Western culture, that's only 25 years younger than you. Okay. So when you were born, 25 years before you were born, people were riding horses and didn't have to pay taxes, they got to fucking live on the land and travel and be nomadic in a sense. And so I feel like it spoke to something more tribal and primal in humans in America in that time, because it was so close, right? Now you'd have to like look at history now to kind of, for, you know, kids these days, right? I'm 40 years old, so my son has no fucking clue about cowboys. No. Other than Toy Story. You know what I mean?
Yo, understand. Yeah, I believe like it's not just for as Americans. Like we are always used to say, "Oh, on my grandma's time, on my grandpa's time," as a better way to live. But I'm 100% sure my father or my grandpa would rather to have a AI5 bike than a kickstart bike. So we have they have good parts of their lives that we won't be able to live, and we have our good times and good parts of our lives that they won't be able to live. I really try to feel this and understand this, but I try to not be like romantic about this stuff. Like what's gone is gone. I try to always look forward. Like in Brazil, we used to have good education during the military government, and people said that was actually we were living in a dictator. I don't know how to say it in English.
Dictator.
Yeah. From the right
Great
side.
Movie.
Yeah.
You ever seen Dictator? It's a great movie.
In Brazil, we live under a dictator government.
A dictator government, yeah.
From right side to 64 to 1988, and people say, what's the horrible time of our lives? And my father says, man, I've studied in a public school and was pretty fine. I made public high school and was pretty fine.
Yeah.
And everything happened. Nobody cares about carrying guns or putting locking doors. Was much more safe than was today. So I believe each generation has his own dramas and own problems, and we have to push forward anyways. Like my grandpa wasn't able to stop to think about my father life was better. My father doesn't have time for this.
So, what it sounds like is what you're talking about. So the difference between that and what you have now, or what we have now and what we would have, I mean, that's kind of like the American war is always about, killing those type of regimes, right? Everybody wants democracy, and the democracy gives people the opportunity, like what you talk about. But for someone that if you are born with ever and I'm saying this hypothetically, I have no idea what it's like to live in your world, but I would imagine that if you were born in a world where all these things are kind of provided and you just have to follow the line, then the ceiling for where you can go in life is you could see it as a kid. Yeah. It's right there, dude. As much as I can do is maybe pump gas at a gas station. That's all I'm going to get to do. Mm-hmm. Well, for a lot of people in the world, that's a great life.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is all I got to do, and I get to fucking have sex with my old lady. I get to have kids. I get to go have a great life. It's fine, but as the world and culture starts to be broadcasted to you through news and then phones and things, and you see that over there they can do that, I want that. I want to do that. And if you live in a dictatorship, you don't have that because your ceiling is lower than you probably wouldn't even have the ability to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. And Brazil, politically, Brazil is very weird. Because we just crossed 16 years of a left party there.
Yeah.
And we changed for a guy that's pretty similar to Trump.
Hell yeah, that's fine. I'm not really political, but it's all good.
Yeah, I like the things that he can provide, but I don't like him because he talked too many shit. It's bullshit. But I understand his point. I understand who does dislike him.
Yeah.
But Brazil, differently from what I see from the United States, is a place that you can switch every kind of political and governmental and style and anything, and will be the same shit. Because beside people being very, very hospitality is great, people are fine, people easy Latin and all this kind of shit, people are lazy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think makes them lazy?
Like I'm used to say, people always complaining about how politician doesn't work better, that doesn't do what they believe that's fine or not. But the politician is just a mustache from the people.
Yeah.
If the politician doesn't make, it's because he's part of the people and the people is like him. Because he's a part of the population.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we have tons of friends that keep talking to me because, JP's on the shop and Dynamite Crew. I own Dynamite Crew and work for Urban Helmets. So, guys, you work too hard. You don't have to make it. Man, if I don't make like this, it won't be able to happen. So I have to push forward. No, you don't have to work as much. No, I had to.
Yeah,
I have to make it happen. It's my life. I'm 35 years old guy. I need to push as hard as I can because soon I won't be able to push this more. I have to leave a legacy for my family. I need to leave.
Hell yeah, I'm all about that. Hell yeah.
I need to provide what I can the most fast as possible and push forward as best I can. I want to support my community. I want to support my friends. I want to support all this bike shit that have been made in there.
Yeah.
So for us, people say,
that's my campaign speech. You just gave me my campaign speech. That's exactly all. That is all that
But Brazilian doesn't understand about community. They are selfishness. Yeah. Besides being good people, they don't like to don't put a penny on their pockets to support someone.
Yeah.
That's something that I really don't like. That I come
Sounds
here
like my
and see-
listenership.
I come to here and see people like helping each other just for helping.
Yeah.
That's something weird for Brazilians. That Brazilian helps, but not as easy as here, and with their own heart and soul on this. Like I used to have a band. So we promote the concerts was hard as fuck because my friends doesn't went to my concert. The band was a shit, I know. I know. But I would come to a friend's concert just to support him. There is difficult. So we have good points there. Actually, when I talk to this, it seems like, oh, Brazilians are shit. No, Brazilians are great people.
Maybe they more honest, more brash.
Yeah. They don't...
Like they'll tell you like, no good.
No good. No, I don't want to. Or just say, oh, I will see if I will be able to go or not. They not even see and don't even know the date of the show. Fuck, no worries, no problems. No hard feelings for this. But it's the way that it is. It is.
That's people.
It's people. As most I get old, I expect less from everyone, and I try to make hard everything I do, because I rather be surprised with someone good action, like you just surprised me inviting us to come to your podcast. Then I will meet Jace, I will go to his shop, I will look at her pants. No.
Yeah.
What's a better way? You invite, come here, let's talk to the podcast. For us, it's a good opportunity to have free speech about talking.
Man, honestly, this has been I'm having fun, dude. I'm listening.
Cool.
Like I'm learning right now.
Cool.
And for me, it's like I do so many podcasts. I talk to so many people, and so many things that happen in these things are like I've heard it already, so many times. And for you, like talking about, maybe it's arrogance I'm talking about. Like you're telling me about American culture, and I'm like feeling great about it.
No, but it's cool because maybe like you guys don't have any idea how influenced American culture is all over the world, and it really is.
Well, on that point, like what you're just saying, like one of the things that like happens up here is like people take for granted what we have, right?
Yeah.
Like we had Born Free in Texas, amazing show, and I know tons of people that said, I don't feel like going. Right? And the opportunity to be at this thing that's only going to take place once a year, and then you guys come up, you chose to come to Born Free, Texas. You know what I mean?
I was talking to this with Scott from Simpson.
Simpson, yeah.
Like, the show wasn't full packed as was expected, okay? And
Yeah.
I have no problem, to be honest, with this. I can talk this to Mike, to Grant. Our expectation was higher on visitors. As we were inside the show, we didn't realize as was hard to get into the show because the line was like 3 hours line. And then I really understand who went to the line, spent like 2 hours, and I don't want to be inside the show. But the great part of the show for us, besides like visiting Texas, that's a new state for us, is that as the show wasn't that full packed, was more easy to us talk to you, talk to Simpson.
Relationships,
Relationships, because if the show was hot as fuck for sale, I won't be able to talk to anyone about anything, just keep saying on t-shirts and all this kind of shit. And nothing, like, I understand we have a commercial side on the show. We spend a lot of money to be here, and we'll be much more comfortable, be back home with some dollars in our pockets than empty pockets. But the dollar that we make on the show is not the only thing that we have to make on our lives. Making contacts, knowing people, talk about culture, understand what people are living here, why they are doing here, having a different side of view of what the newspaper tell to us about America in Brazil. That's the greatest part of everything. Talk to people. Like last night was a cool night in bike show for me because I was connected to people, talking to people, understanding their lives, understanding their dramas. And that's not something that you can make like online from a chat, from a cell phone. Be able to talk to people. I always talk that Americans like to shake hands. They could like they could enjoy my brand, but if they don't look me in the eye and shake my hand, they won't understand what I'm talking about. And I really understand this because like the American culture likes what's American made. And I'm a guy from here. I'm not making something American made. And for us to be here, to talk to people and make them understand what we are doing here, how we started. We never planned to be a brand. We never have huge plans about the brand. We want to make it forward. We just want to be able to come here at least once a year to visit you guys, to be in the show. And for us, it's part of the game. Like, it's probably the best part of the game being here.
Yeah.
Because we have time to live all the things that we keep all the year planning. Is 1 day, 1 year planning for us to come here. Not just about the cost, but I want to do that. I want to visit that place. I want to know that guy. Oh man, look, is Jace the guy that painted that bagger? Cool. And go there. Oh, Jace, how are you doing? Oh, you want to participate in my podcast? Fuck yeah, I want it. I never figured out you could invite us. I never figured out that Dallas was such a great place. Actually, I love Dallas. Like 3 days here, but I love Dallas. And that's part of the game for us. It's not just about the bikes. Yeah, it's about people too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I've had a rough week. I've been kind of in and out of sickness. If I think you like heard or saw, Born Free for me was in a tent, just like
I saw you got
shivering, and like I didn't get a chance to go talk to everybody I wanted to talk to. I saw you guys setting up. I wanted to talk. Didn't get a chance to until you walked up to the booth that day, whether it was Saturday. I can't remember if Saturday or Sunday, but, like, I mean, you just said so much right there that was so important. It's like we have something so amazing here, and you coming here to experience it, like, to me, it hopefully inspires people that have the opportunity every day to take advantage of it.
That's the part. I believe most guys have the opportunity of being here, of be living here. Like, I just sold my 2017 Ranger to buy a 2006 Hand because it was my dream. Because I come here and see this big truck and I said, fuck, Ranger is a pussy truck. It's not a real truck. I need a Hand. So it's not trying real to emulate, but in the sense it is. I want to live like my dream is to be here officially. I can't be now. I have many things to do. I have my 2 girls there.
Does the beauty of your country, like the landscape, the
it looks like here?
It does look like here? No, I mean, does the landscape, does the cities, does all that, like when you come to, I mean, you're in Dallas, dude. Like Dallas, yeah, we have a skyline, we have a city, but just America in general, like we fantasize about going to Brazil for the landscape, for the culture.
We didn't realize about the landscape most of the times. Like, as someone talk, you go to California, remember the Golden Gate, but it's not my business. Like in 2018, I came with my wife to visit California with RMV, and my girl says, let's go to Golden Gate. You say, fuck, that's just a bridge.
A bridge.
It's huge, it's beautiful, but it's just a bridge. For me, what's important is living like, understanding like people live here. Okay. For us, we rent our B&B because we are staying in a neighborhood, living and understanding and seeing how our neighborhood works. It's not. It's something curiosity that we have. If we stay on the Best Western, will be the same thing in. Yeah. Just a second, please.
It's all fine. I'm just glad you got an iPhone, not a Samsung.
Like, if we come to a Best Western, would be the same here, and the same in São Paulo, the same in Madrid.
Yeah,
it's just a hotel.
Same experience. Yeah.
I talk to all the guys. I hate hotels because they are the same. You have just a room, you have a place to be there, you have your bed, you have some expensive shit in the bar. I don't like that. I had to go through Walmart, buy the dinner, went to house, look how the neighborhood works, how the guys, like, which o'clock the garbage truck passed by, how it works. It seems weird, but we grow up seeing this in the movies. Yeah. For us, as we arrive here in the Dallas in the house, we say, fuck. It's like just like You know that Macaulay Culkin film?
Yeah.
It's similar to his film. It's the same neighborhood almost. No, we know it's not. But for us, we grow up seeing this.
Yeah.
We grow up into the American culture. Even not thinking about it, because all the movies comes from here, all the music comes from here, all the stuff comes from here. That's the point. For us, it's really representative, the influence that the United States have all over the world. And we see this time like, man, we're here.
Yeah.
And for us, it's part of a dream being here.
Man, well, I would say this. I would say that, like, you guys are a better representation. Like, I think that you guys coming and talking to, like, myself, and I'm sure Corey would say the same thing. You spoke last night. He has the M8 FXR.
Yeah.
We're reminded, I think, of what we have by having conversations with you. When you show so much interest in something that is mundane to us,
Yeah.
it's like trivial. Like, we don't think about the garbage, but when you talk about it, like, because we all fantasize about going to a place like Brazil.
Yeah, I believe that's the same feeling, but with the opposite version.
Yeah, it's like we fantasize about going to Brazil as a vacation.
Not living.
Yeah, well, 100%. I think most people don't fantasize about living in Brazil. Maybe, but like I think for myself, like I've always fantasized about like living somewhere with less required to the government.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like that's the place either.
No, Brazil for sure isn't.
I mean, I don't know. Like I think as an artist, like when you're creative, like you want to be in a place where the world demands less of you so that you can like focus more on what you want to put into the world. So I'm it's like 12 years ago, someone said like Costa Rica was one of those places where it was like very easy for Americans to get visas or citizenship, if you will. And there's lots of the beach towns where you can kind of make money in tourism, if you will. But I don't know. I don't want to be a tourist trap. I don't want to be airbrushing people's faces and shit.
That's the point. Like in the middle of the COVID stuff, like beginning the 2021, my wife was like sick of getting there, and all the bad notice that we got in Brazil, because nothing. If you turn on the TV, is only shit come from that, and she started to let's go move to United States. Let's go move to United States. Let's go. I said, sweetheart, like I'm not able yet to move to United States to work with my brand. Mm-hmm. If I go to United States now, I'll have to like keep cleaning dishes or maybe cleaning bathrooms, and I talk in English. You better talk in English. You won't be able to do anything. We have the girls. We won't be able to pay anyone to take care of them. So we have a pretty hard life, and I'm trying to make my moves. So we made it, but not now.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you said. I'm an artist. You were an artist, but you don't want to pay like anything for tourists. It's just like me. I work with motorcycle. It's not just because I love this. I will come here to clean dishes and bathrooms. I have to make my move to come here as official representative of my brand. Yeah. There is a way to make it happen. I know it's not the easier, it's not the cheapest, but there is a way.
Yes.
So I'm making my move to this because I don't want you with 35 years old start to like you throw your education and all your job in the garbage now to move to United States to have something that you could live better. I really understand what you're talking about. Working outside United States, but I still believe I didn't visit that much countries in the world, but I never seen a place that you can be free as you can be here in the United States. I was talking to Corey last night, like our president that we have there, that's Bolsonaro. He's close to Trump. The way he thinks, he makes like easier to buy guns there. Not easier, but he allows to have 9mm and .40 millimeters. But like, till I start the process of buying a gun to receive the gun in my house, it takes about a year. Here, you just go through Cabela's and buy a gun.
Yeah.
Man, I'm buying a gun to kill someone? No.
Yeah.
It's a tool. People don't understand this.
Yeah.
So Brazil is a great place, but you have to compare much more to California way of life, like restricted stuffs, all the left party and this kind of shit. That I love California. I'm not be unfair. We have great friends there. I love like the sightseeings. I love everything, but apparently they are not going good. Yeah.
It's the thing in America right now is that we have a two-party system, right? Where I think that the majority of my generation and forward, so I'm a millennial. I was born in '82, and most of my generation forward, who doesn't have their head up their ass, feels like they live in the middle of both parties, of Democratic ideas and Republican ideas, right? Like most of us have grown up around enough gay people where we don't give a shit. We've grown up around enough abortions where we don't give a shit. Like people do what they do, that's not our problem, right? So there's these classic things that divide us, but if like people really sat down and thought about it, like it really doesn't divide them. It's like they pick a party and they stick to things that they have no real thought into why they stick with it, right? Now, most people will see like the crazy Democratic shit going on and say like, I'm not that, so I'm this, right?
That's the point. No one's just one thing.
Exactly. You're not one thing. It's like you're realistically, if you have a conversation with any rational person, they're going to agree to both sides of the thing, and it's right in the middle, right?
I was talking to Corey yesterday. I'm like
Corey's a great example of that, yeah.
Corey looked to me a very nice guy.
Corey, when you talk to Corey, you want to go home and thank God that there are nice people like that out there.
Yeah. And I talked to him like...
And I don't even believe in God. So.
I was talking to him that I'm good in being like rejected for both sides because I agree with some things about the right side. I agree with some things about the left side. And both sides, instead of saying, oh, Rafael, I like you, enjoy the side of, yo, little fucker, you doesn't agree with 2,000 of anything else that I like. I say,
yeah.
I don't have to agree with everything that you say. I don't have disagree with everything you say. I have my own thoughts. I have my own questions, and I can like. I don't like the example that I give to him. Like I am a girl supporter, but I don't care about anyone's doing about his sexual life. If he's gay, if he's transsexual, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit either.
Like I said, happy people don't mess around. Don't piss me off. Happy people just are happy people.
Yeah.
Don't piss me off. It's okay. So I don't care. I don't care about abortion. Not my family. We have our personal thoughts.
Yeah.
And I just apply for my family. What do you want to do with that? I had her to know that someone aborted that don't have the structure to create their own family. Like what they give a birth to a kid and don't have to take care of it. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like keep killing babies. I said that's weird. So
when you say it that way, it sounds horrible. But like, and I guess some people only see it that way, which is understandable. It's the glasses they look at it. But the thing is like the people that do take the due diligence to figure out where they really stand in life fall in the middle 90% of the time.
Yeah.
The people that only listen to the things that are like that pop up on their Facebook feed or their Instagram feed, that only use that as like their definitive idea of what said thing is, are they're propagandized or propagandized.
That's the worst part because I study with many guys that work for media channels there in Brazil, and like they write as they are the coolest people in the whole world, like the good people that help everyone else, and they are just dickheads. So I said, "Fuck!" Like we already talking. Me and the guys, we don't trust media. We don't trust social media. We don't trust anything that don't come from our own minds, because we know a lot of bloggers there's in Brazil. Actually, we made a part. We met a Derby cover, Kill All Bloggers, because we know some bloggers in Brazil that talk about bikes every day. We didn't find out they in the road in a single day.
Yeah, it sounds like American bloggers.
Oh, you have to do this. Oh, did you ride this weekend? Oh, how your bar is, how tall your bar is. Let me show you how to fit your bars. But they even ride. We barely see them riding. They always with the bike. Oh, my bike, I stopped because of this. I can ride because of that. Fuck, man. You keep talking many bullshit to a lot of people that believe that you really ride, and you don't even understand what the fuck you were doing for your life, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's honestly, that is biker culture. That is the quintessential thing of what most biker things, everything you deal with or what we deal with here, 100%.
I talked to the guys. Many guys. I talked to a guy last night. He was complaining. He was saying, like, asking apologies because my bike has only 4,000 miles. Man, we don't care about mileage. If it's low, if it's high, but if you're a cool guy, we don't care about it. Yeah. And the guys keep saying this bullshit. Like, the only companies that really cares about mileage are the flying companies. The other rest of one, we don't care. If he's a cool guy, is someone that you can trust, that someone you can like bring to your house and be a nice people inside your house.
Yeah.
There's something that I always talk to my girl. I just like to bring cool people to my house.
Yeah,
because
100%.
I don't feel comfortable with the guy looking in my house. Whoa, what is this? What is that? Man, I like to come here to my house to enjoy and party and be a good host to you.
Well, when you connect with people like you're talking about, like the bikers out there, then your house feels like that's the least that you can give them, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I just whatever I can do to help you out, because this passion for motorcycles, this passion for this community, it bleeds very fucking heavy and very, very hard. And when you meet really cool people that you enjoy being around, like Corey that you were talking about.
Yeah, there's a family for us that's very important. When the first time we came to Born Free, we were falling. I don't know if you know Stephanie Garfoot.
Yeah, for True Performance.
Yeah, true Garwood. So the first time we went here, we meet them at the show, and they say, "Hey, you have to come to my house." And many people talk to this in Brazil just to be polite, not really inviting you to your home. They'll say, "Yeah, we will go," and they start chatting us and sending messages. "Oh, you have to come and make a barbecue for you guys," and say, like, we didn't know that people before. They invite us to be in their homes. They make barbecues for us. They doesn't know us. We're Brazilians. How
dude? Steven and fucking Stephanie and those guys up there are the fucking truth. Like, they are badass.
Yeah.
And they are exactly what you're saying. They did the same thing for us when we came out there.
Yeah, they opened the house, made a barbecue, show all the stuff, show the bikes. Like, we play with the kids. Like, actually, we were real late because the road was much more longer than we expected. And they say, no problems. Let's wait. We were waiting you to wait. Say, fuck. They invited us. We got there late. They were polite as fuck with us, that we got really shy about how polite they were.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. That I would like to be like them. I would have a family like them.
Yeah.
Isn't that a good way? Like, they're a reference for me. About family, not just about bike building.
Yeah,
like family.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
like
no, they're a great ambassador for who we are, and I put my name behind Steph and True. They're great people, and that's the kind of people that you want to be in, especially to welcome people from out of this country, to show them what this culture is like, because they treat me that way, and I'm from here, so you know what I mean.
And we, like, I believe that every time that you are in a new experience, or not, but most time of new experience, you can learn something. Like, for us, the first time in Born Free, first time like rode in the United States on a car, like a family opened doors for us, like said, man, that's something different. That's something special in it. That's something from that the community, the bike community, like stimulate. It's not just about the bike.
Yeah.
It's not just about the bike. So that's the point I said.
Yeah, well, think about it like this. You ever heard the concept of tribes? Yeah. Right. So as humans, we're always trying to take the big world and make it to where we're in the small community. Yeah. Right. And so this motorcycle, specifically this Dyna performance culture, that's our small like piece of this world. And now, like with you being a part of it, it's like, you know, people in Brazil are like this. Now our tribe is in fucking Brazil. Now we can go to Brazil. Like it creates these pockets all over the world that we can kind of be a part of, right?
Yeah, but it's just, I totally agree with you. But what I would like just to add is something like it's much more personal than this.
Yeah.
Like, most of the guys just figure out about the bike. Oh, sick paint, sick parts, sick engine. No. Nowadays, I had to have a good guy by my side. I don't care what kind of bike he owns, what he's saying, but he's a cool guy. He's something that I can trust. Someone that I could like put money in my grow in his hand, and he would take care about this, and I have no complaint about it.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is basically the concept of, you know, there's a lot of people that come to bike night, you know, across America that have a nice bike, but it's the person behind the bike that honestly is going to get all their praise more than the bike.
Again, just like talking about him, about Corey.
Yeah.
The passion he talks about the build he makes. It's something interesting to notice. Like,
it's infectious, yeah.
He talks in a very polite and calm way. Everything he's done, like no big deals, no secrets. I've done this, I've done that. Work this doesn't work. I said, fuck. This guy is cool, not because of the information, but the way he passed this. Yeah. Like he's teaching someone. Like in Brazil, of course, we won't make it because we have like 5 FXR in Brazil. But I talked to JP. That's my dream bike because the best frame, with a badass engine, when everything that needs to be set, done, brand new. So it's a dream bike. And the guy said calm as shit. Oh, I've made this. You need to do that. You need to do that. I say, fuck, man. You got talent and you're a cool guy.
Yeah, trust me, we're blessed here in Dallas-Fort Worth to have a guy like Corey. So it's like, you know, being able to talk to him at bike nights, be able to see him, be able to see his bike all the time. Like watching it being built over the last couple of years was a privilege in itself. So, like the community, like the people around the scene that you live in, like if they're doing it because they love it, then you get guys like Corey. Right? And then they can't wait to tell you about it. If you're doing it because you want people to fucking like idolize you, then you're going to get people that like, you're going to be more, and I'm guilty of this. I'm a bad ambassador every once in a while. You're going to get people that are less likely to want to share that passionate conversation about their build because they probably expected you to already know because you were doing it for the fucking gram. You were doing it for social media and like praise and whatnot.
I really understand that different profile of person in the world.
Yeah.
People, each one is unique. So Corey has his style. Many people have other style. But it's not just talking about the build. It's the way he talks and the way people like embrace you and say, come here. Let me show this. Here. Like, you know Gerard Valley Customs?
Yeah, Valley Custom, Gerald, yeah.
Same thing. First time we went there, he treated us so fine. He asked his wife to come to bring stuff, and he showed me the guy that painted the Gypsy Rose.
Yeah.
Said, man.
He's an amazing, Gerald and the Valley Customs crew up there, they're amazing. I've had them on the podcast before. They're great friends of mine. Great dudes.
And Steve from Speed Kings, like,
same.
We were in a bad time because we have the booth, we have the table, we have the products. We want to be able, we bring too much stuff for the last Born Free in 2019, and we wasn't able to sell all the stuff. As Steve said, no, pass by my shop tomorrow. I can hold it till next Born Free. And it takes like almost 3 years to have the next Born Free. And said, no problem, I'll bring them to you to Texas.
That's badass.
Fuck. Well, no, if you want it, you can ship through DHL or UPS, and I pay. No big deal. I put it in my van. I bring it to you. Steve, And what's the funniest part? Because on Sunday, we were seated there on the booth, and JP was spinning around, and he came back. Man, I don't know why, but Steve and San Diego Customs are gone. I said, gone? Yeah, it's gone. And our stuff, he said, and JP answers, man, we have to find them, or have to check, because we need to put our stuff there. And I run to the place that Steve was. Steve, what's happening? Man, the wind will be a problem in the road, so we're packing. And no problem, just throw your stuff in my van, but you don't need anything. No, I can hold this for you. Man, I understand probably Steve got a big storage. There will be no big deal for him, but it's kind of responsibility that he's holding our stuff. He can make any problem, and he pays for being there. So I'm like wasting space for him, and no problem. So
he's a great ambassador.
You know,
he's great. Yeah,
he's a great guy. Most of the guys that I know, like Mikey, when I arrived by Friday, Mikey from San Diego Customs said, "Hey guys, you have a bad time in the election in Brazil." I say, "Fuck, how is know about the elections in Brazil?" Yeah, they say the Communist Party is getting closer there. I say, "Fuck, how did they know? He know this?"
Well, Mikey's from South Africa, so I think really? he might have. Wait, no, Chip. Fuck, I'm mixing them up. No, Chip is from South Africa.
Okay.
So, but Mikey, I don't know. Mikey's he's tapped in, so I guess I'll give him that.
No, I said, man, how he knows about Brazilian elections? Like it's like just us know something about Angola. We don't know shit. We just know that Angola exists there, and it's cool this because we notice people take care. That's the main point, taking care. I believe that something that we try apply to our community, to our guys. We are on their back. We are pushing them. We are trying to support as much as we can.
Yeah.
Like with parts, with service, with everything, like knowledge and all the stuff. The guys come here from themselves. Like me and JP, we pay everything for us, and they come because, oh man, we want to be part of it. We want to be there. We want to know the guys. We know the shop. We want to experience all this kind of stuff. They pay for their pockets. Like for us, we keep, man, they're coming here to help us, paying from the pockets. Like we try to help with everything we can, like renting the car or this or that. And they say, man, that's amazing. It's something that maybe feel loved. Like not
appreciate
it. Appreciate people like support, so I have to give them back some.
Yeah, no man, it's 100%, man. Dude, we've done good here. Dude, we did 2 hours.
Oh shit!
Quickly,
I was afraid about not like stop talking English and my English stopped up.
Dude, your English is good, man. I think the people get it. They understand.
I hope so.
But man. Raphael, I appreciate it, man. This has been awesome. It's been a great...
Me neither. I was so thankful about your invite to be here. And for me, it was a pleasure completely. Like
you're the second person. We've had one person from Italy and now Brazil. And then everybody else is American.
First from South America.
South America, that's it. We've had a Canadian in here once, but, we're not talking.
Canadians are almost American.
Yeah, exactly. It's a proxy. So people can check your stuff out at...
Yeah, people can check our Instagram is @Dynamite Crew @Dynamite_Crew. We have our website is www.dynamitecrew.com.
Mm-hmm.
There we can ship worldwide. Small parts are shipped through DHL Express, so they be any part of the world in 7 days.
Nice.
And bigger parts are pretty hard, but we can make it.
Make it happen.
And man, thanks for the invite. We're really glad to be here. Was a really cool time. Like spent 2 hours in
like that.
Yeah, like that. And guys, Fast Life is one of the kick-ass painters we haven't seen, and we have seen a lot of painters. So support Jay's stuff because he's really talented guy, and his studio is amazing too. So keep updated on the podcast. Always news about the motorcycle life here in Texas.
Oh, yeah. Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I really did enjoy my time talking with Raphael and finding out more about the Brazilian culture surrounding performance Harley-Davidsons and just motorcycles in general. If you enjoy these podcasts, please check out our sponsors. We've got a lot of badass sponsors supporting this show. And if you want to support this show personally, then check out our Patreon. $5 a month helps us continue to make these episodes and do the content that you are consuming. So, links in the description for everybody from our sponsors to our Patreon. Also, don't forget, this weekend is the Down South Campout 3. It's going down in Ingles, Florida, and it's Friday till Sunday. And on Saturday is the Big Trouble Bike Show, going to be held down there in Ingles at another bar. There's going to be tons and tons of brands there and people there just showing out, showing off, and having a good time. So hope to see all you guys there. And yeah, I'm literally getting ready to leave and head out to the Down South tomorrow morning. It's Wednesday right now, and I'm leaving at 5 a.m. Got a great group of guys going down there. We're going to be in Florida Bama partying Thursday night. Then we're going to ride into Ingles, and yeah, it's going to be a good season ender for us. So check it out. Can't wait to see all you guys down there. And thank you for checking out these podcasts, and we'll see you on the next one.